Hey, what's up everybody? People always give me a hard time for not putting the amp on standby. Still getting over the SHOT Show flu, as they call it. If you don't know what that is, it's a big gun convention out in Vegas, and everybody gets sick because there's too many people there. And a lot of rednecks coming out of the woods, aren't used to being around a lot of people. All of a sudden they're in a big city and they get sick, and myself included. Well, I'm from a city in Nashville, but there's a lot of gun guys that live in big cities, of course. But I do think that people coming out of the rural areas into the big city, maybe they're not used to, that helps kind of intensify the effect. But anyways, I digress. So there's another one of these videos where I play some sloppy guitar, and again, like I remind you on some of these videos, like, you know, people give me a hard time about my guitar playing, which is understandable. I'm not good. I mean, it's not something I'm like actively trying to pursue in any sort of professional way. It's just something that's fun for me, and I like to collect guitars, and I don't like to sit down and learn riffs, so I just jam. Everything you hear in these videos, you know, 95% of it is going to be just literally something that just right on the top of my head that I just thought of just then. Not like you can't you can't tell. If I play like a riff or something that is something that I came up with, or it's someone else's riff or whatever, I'll probably tell you. If you just see me playing, it's probably just me, just messing around. So anyways, I wanted to make this video, just kind of update you on a few things, kind of let you know what's going on, you know, the whole deal. So first of all, I want to let you know, as most of you know, I do stand-up comedy, and I've got a couple of shows coming up. Let's see, I got one coming up. I probably won't get this video out soon enough, but you know, why not? I have a show tomorrow on the January 31st in Huntsville, Alabama. You'll have to go online. I forget when they start. Typical comedy shows start like around 7 o'clock, something like that, 7 or 8. So go online and check that out. But Huntsville, Alabama, Stand Up Live Comedy Club is the name of it. And January 31st, which is tomorrow or today or tonight or going on right now, depending on when this video goes up or when you're watching it. More than likely that's too soon for you guys. But I also have a show at Zany's in Nashville, Tennessee. And that is on the 12th of February, so that one's coming up pretty quick too, but got a week or so maybe to get down to that one if you want to check that out. And these are just showcases. You know, I haven't been doing stand-up for a decade or anything, so you know, I'm just at the level where I get on a showcase here and there. You know, do like a 8 to 10 minute spot or something like that, or maybe longer depending on the show. So yeah, so check that out. If you want to keep up to date on where I'm going to be doing stand-up comedy, follow me on social media. Instagram is probably your best bet. John, John _ Hickok 45 on Instagram. That's going to be your best bet. That's where I always post every show I'm doing on there. Sometimes on Facebook I'll post. I try to post them on Facebook. John Hickok on Facebook. So check that out if that's something that you are interested in. You might have noticed that I put out a new video, like a new series that I've launched where I'm like reviewing different products and things like that. That's something I'm really excited about. I've had that idea, honestly, ever since my divorce. Whenever the divorce and everything first happened, it was a weird ride. Not to like go back down memory lane with that or anything, but it was, it had like a lot of energy, like right when it happened. You know, it was like a new lease on life, and came up with a lot of different ideas and stuff like that, or stuff I wanted to do. But then like the brutality of the experience kind of set in, and it just sort of, I didn't really get much done for a long time. So I was just kind of dealing with all that emotionally and everything. And but one of the ideas that I had during that period of time that I'm just now finally getting to is this new type of review, where I don't know if you've seen it or not yet, but it's the Right in the Rain Pad is the first one I've done. I've already filmed some segments for some other ones I'm working on, and it was kind of the pilot episode, but the basic idea is I thought it would be cool to do a review in a slightly different way, but I wanted it to be entertaining, but also not annoy you if you actually do care about the product, like you actually want to know the information about it and decide if you want to buy it or not. So I want it to be a real review, but I also want to add an element of what I think is funny, at least, to it, which is basically the kind of the general format. I'm gonna probably rearrange it some. people seem to like the first one, but they're just, from my own personal perspective, there's some problems with it that I'm going to try to iron out in some of the next ones to try to make it a little more interesting, a little bit faster pace. I feel like it was a little slow getting into it, but the basic idea is you come to these reviews and you get the basic information about whatever it is. You see it in action, whatever, depending on what the product is. The best I can show you, like, back up whatever this product claims, to do or whatever, or not back it up. That's the testing element of it, and then also show you some demonstrations of like how you might use it. And that's where some of those get a little wild and crazy. And also, can it be used for self-defense? That's kind of like, I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny, and it'll depend on what the product is, probably, if it's funny or not. Like if I review a gun, obviously, it's pretty obvious use for self-defense, or a knife or something like that. But might get kind of crazy sometimes, depending on what the item is. So I just thought that'd be kind of a fun way, a little bit of a new take on a review. At least it's not something I've seen, or if it's been done, it's not done too often, at least. So yeah, that's a new series I'm going to be playing around with. Like I've been saying forever, I'm going to be branching out, doing some new things. And whenever you heard me talk about how I've got something new coming, that I was probably talking about that, because I've had this idea for a long time, and finally putting it together and making it happen. So we'll see how it goes. But that's been fun. Just been doing a lot of stand up. That's becoming one of my primary focuses now that I've kind of have a new lease on life, I guess you could say. So that's been something I've really been focusing on a lot, doing a lot of that. Before I was kind of more playing with it. It was like something that I saw as a way to kind of improve my overall presentation skills and YouTube videos and things like that. Once I realized I wanted to break into YouTube, and once I saw that I was kind of struggling with being natural and being myself on camera, I thought like maybe stand up would be a way to kind of help me get more experience of talking in front of people. And also, I'd always wanted to do stand up, I just never had the courage to do it, and that sort of gave me a real reason, like almost a professional reason to do it, invest in my YouTube career. But now that things in my life have changed, I'm not playing with it anymore. I'm doing it. You know what I mean? So I'm really taking it seriously and working as hard as I can on it. So like I said, follow social media if you want to see shows or whatever. But keep in mind, I'm a new comic. It takes like 10, 12 years a lot of the times for comedians to really break through to that level where you're seeing them on TV, or they're like headlining clubs consistently, and stuff like that. It takes a very, very long time to really hone that in and to build material and all that kind of stuff. And I know you guys ask me to see clips on YouTube all the time, and I used to be more standoffish about putting clips up there, but there's stuff up there if you search around. I'm not trying to put it all out there, but it's it's up there. But I'm not gonna record every show and put it online, of course. So there's that, and just like in general, I kind of want to talk about a few things. Okay, here comes the part that's gonna be controversial or whatever. I don't know. I'm just trying to be real, and these videos, what I like about them is just being super real. I'm real with my guitar playing. I'm honest about that it sucks or whatever. I think that's part of what I like about doing these videos. It's like right off the bat, I start off the video kind of like showing you that I'm not afraid to show something I'm not exactly proficient at. It's just kind of fun for me. And I love music and I love guitar, but it's not something that I assume to be great at. Anyways, I'm not sure what the point of that was. Maybe it'll make sense to you watching the video in a more linear way versus how I'm perceiving it in my brain, but we'll see how it goes. But anyways, a big thing, of course, lately in the online gun world tends to be all this controversy about the National Rifle Association. All right, so there's a couple I'm not trying to get into the weeds of that, but there's a couple of things I want to address about it. Okay, so first of all, of course, as everyone knows, Dad and I, Hickok 45, we have a deal with the NRA where we promote the NRA for a new membership, right? And they support the channel and we get new members, right? Everyone knows that. If you watch any video, you see us talk about that. So does that give me less credibility when talking about the NRA? Of course it does, absolutely. Just like if I was doing a review on a product, which this is something I never ever will do on YouTube. If I'm reviewing a product, a gun, whatever it is, I will never take anything from that company. I will never take anything from that company. Now, if it's something really cheap, and they may give me something for free, I will always disclose that, always. Like for example, the Right in the Rain pad video, bought all of those. I don't know anyone at that company, never talked to them in my life. Bought every single one of those. Now, if they, for some reason, just wanted to send me a bunch of them, I'd probably do it. I mean, there's what are they, like $2 or $3 or $4 or something a piece, depending on the size of me. Yeah, sure. But I would disclose it. I would always disclose it, just like we used to take free guns. We don't do that anymore, but we used to take free guns. In the beginning of the video, we'd say, hey, this gun was a gift, But we didn't get paid for the review. We just said this gun is a gift. So we always disclose everything, So to say, if my opinion on the NRA is going to be tainted in the same way that it would be if I was reviewing a product that I was being paid to review, right? So if I'm reviewing the Right in the Rain pad, and they're like, hey, make this commercial for us, or here's whatever, how many thousands of dollars to make this review, and if I didn't disclose that, and even if I did, if I did disclose it, obviously you would know not to necessarily to take my opinion with a grain of salt. But especially if I didn't disclose it, you definitely want to be suspect of my opinion. So in regards to the NRA, I understand that, right? Because the way that we have chosen sponsors on our channel are things that are separate from things that we are objective about. We are objective about guns on a Hickok 45. That's what we do. Dad and myself, we have our own personal biases based on experience and things that we've shot or seen or just like or whatever or don't like. But it doesn't come from the companies. It's strictly us, right? But that can be said about our supporters, NRA, Buzz Gun Shop, Federal, but that doesn't necessarily stop me from speaking positively about them, right? We work with people that we like. Why would you take sponsorship from a company that you don't like? It doesn't make any sense. There's tons and tons and tons of companies out there that would love to work with you if you have a large audience. So you choose the ones that you like, so you feel better about it, So if someone asks me what I think about the NRA or what I think about Buzz Gun Shop or Federal or SDI, I'm going to be honest. Now, I'm not going to go in really hard on them, of course. Like if someone asks me about Federal ammo, let's say, I don't know, there's a certain caliber that they make that I don't like or something, hypothetically, right? Well, I may not get into that, because they're a supporter of the channel, right? But I'm not going to lie about it. I'm not going to say, oh, I love it, it's the greatest ever, But in general, obviously, I like that company or organization, or we wouldn't work with them, So it's a very fair assessment to have that I don't have credibility when talking about someone who supports our channel, like the NRA. But it's not going to stop me from giving my opinions on them. So that's something that I wanted to say, and I'm not even going to give my opinions on them in this video. I just wanted to kind of address that very thing. And sometimes, when people come in and say stuff or whatever, videos and on Instagram or whatever, I'll reply to some of those people and I'll hash it out with them and give my full honest opinion. But again, I totally understand and respect you if you don't give that credibility, because we work with them, right? But I do expect credibility when we're talking about guns or something that we're reviewing, because we don't get any support from those people. When we that is a huge part of our plan on YouTube. That is a huge deal to us. Whether people know it or realize it or not, we don't care. We know. That's the thing. And that's what it's all about. People are always going to think this or that about you. Example, people from the older generations. This is a big difference, I think, between, I hate the term millennial. It's so retarded. It's just like I can't stand how people use that word, especially because technically millennials are like a huge range. Like technically I'm a millennial, but my generation, being 30 years old, is very different from people who are like 24 now. It also depends on how you're raised and a million different things. It's just, it's basically like a new form of racism, honestly. The way people talk about millennials, it's very ridiculous. But I will say a difference that I've noticed between younger generations and older generations, like especially like my dad's generation, people who are in their 50s, 60s, 70s versus people who are in their 20s, 30s, and maybe even 40s, is that reputation is a big deal. Reputation is a really big deal. How people perceive you. And my generation is not as worried about that. And me personally, the way that I feel about it is I don't really care how people see me, as long as I know that I am doing everything within my power to be a good person and project the things that I want to project and do the things I want to do. Which is why when people accuse us of being sellouts or whatever, it's a little annoying. Sure, of course it is. But it's like, it doesn't matter. I know we're not. I know other people that don't get accused of it. It doesn't matter. It's like, I know what I'm doing, and people are always going to assume other stuff of you, and you just can't get hung up on like, oh, this person thinks that, or this person thinks this. You just got to do what you do. So anyways, there's my rant on that. Okay, so we're done. We talked about shows coming up, talked about the new series, and we talked about a little thing about the NRA, which means all that's left is to talk about the guitars. So, as you know, I collect Dimebag Darrell guitars. I got too many of them. I'm kind of done. I'm actually kind of, I know that collectors, that how BS what I'm about to say is, but I'm kind of done collecting them because I have plenty, And what's funny is this is actually the cheapest one. I spent less on this guitar than I have on by far any of my other Pantera Dimebag guitars. And it's absolutely my favorite one. This is my favorite guitar in the world. It's the best guitar I've ever played, and I just love it. This is the one I always pick up. I occasionally pick up the other ones and play them, but they're mostly collectors. They're mostly for collecting, and I've got them in like different tunings and different things like that. So if I do at some point decide to sit down and really try to learn some like specific Pantera riffs, I'll want to play like I've got a you can't see it, but I've got a Washburn 3ST over there, the stealth guitar. It's that black and silver one. And it's tuned in the dime tuning of down a half step and a quarter. So like that guitar would be perfect to learn a lot of Pantera songs on when I get into it. This one is, from what I understand, not a tuning that they ever used, but I really like it, and it's just half step down. It's pretty common tuning, but I don't think Dime ever used it. I think he primarily used quarter step down from standard and whole and a quarter, and then I think there were some other weird ones. I know there was like a couple songs on Trendkill where it was like he had like a low G string on the top, and then like some, I don't know, something weird like that. But I love this tuning. I love this guitar. It plays really great, and most mornings I pick it up, mess around with it, play with it. I have enough guitars to the point where now I'm more focused on amps and stuff, like trying to find a sound that I really like. And I really like this Koch Power Tone 2. It's a great head. It's a tube head, of course, 120 watt, and it has this really like it's kind of based off of a Marshall Plexi, but it has this really gnarly like extra gainy, sloppy kind of thing going on that I really like. But I'm thinking about getting maybe a Mesa, like a Mesa Boogie, what's it called, the dual rectifier or triple rectifier or something like that, because I bought this amp recently that I just fell in love with the tone of. It's a Cube. It's like a Roland Cube. I forget the specific model number on it, but it's battery powered, and it's that one that's like, it's not the one that's totally square like a Cube. It's like it's It's kind of wedge shaped, like a monitor, and they have a couple of different grades of it. I didn't get the most expensive one, but I got like the one down from that. And it's got like 2 speakers in it. But anyways, it has a rectifier emulator, whatever you call it, setting on it. And it sounds amazing. I love it, especially with this guitar. That's what I end up playing through most of the time. I keep it upstairs. I don't play through the big one as much. But you know, there's nothing like the huge power of these amps. I mean, it just really like gets the blood flowing and makes your playing better, I think, sometimes, especially when you really crank it up, which I can't do too well here because I'm in an apartment. But so yeah, that's what I'm thinking about maybe getting next, is maybe a dual rectifier or a triple, something like that, because I love that sound. Everyone always tells me, because I'm so into Pantera, but I'm into a lot of metal bands. It's just I don't know, I love these guitars, but everyone tells me to get a Randall, because that's what Dime played, and I might at some point. But I love these guitars, but I'm also kind of trying to find my own sound. I'm not like one of those guys who's chasing the Pantera or the Dimebag tone necessarily. You know, I kind of want to find my own sound, and I like a little bit of sloppiness. I like the sloppiness of the Marshall, just because it's sound like Slayer is a good example. You know, like Carrot King's tone. It's just like it has a certain element of sloppiness to it, but I also like that deep, powerful crunch, that you can get with like the Mesas. Like that's what Metallica plays. So I'd like to find something that's really a nice, harmony of sloppiness, but also that kind of just power fist of deep crunch, tight crunch, up underneath it kind of thing. So I'm still sort of chasing that idea. And it's funny, like you find a tone they really like, and then and then you play it for a while, and then you're like, I don't know if I like that as much as I thought it did, and then you go fiddling around with knobs and trying to change it or whatever. So it's like a never-ending thing, but it's fun. I enjoy it. So yeah, and then for those of you who don't know, this guitar right here is a 1982 Dean ML Flame, which little brief Pantera history. The Dean from Hell guitar, you've probably seen them for sale. They've got like it's blue, but it's a different shade of this, and it's got like, it's darker up here, and it's got the lightning bolts and everything. And it's the one from the, if you look at like older Pantera videos of them playing live, you can see it, and he wrote the Dean from Hell up here on the headstock. So that guitar was a 1981 Dean ML Flame, which I also have. It's a black one, if you've ever seen it in a video. This one is the 82. It has a little bit smaller headstock. It still has the kind of the V-neck profile, which I love, but it's a little bit slimmer. It's like just a little bit slimmer. And this guitar's, it's been played a lot. It's been through some hell, and it's pretty old. It's a lot older than me. But God, it plays so good. I picked this guitar up, and I just play it so much better than any of my other guitars. I love it. It plays great. If I ever lose this one or get stolen or something like that, then I'll be chasing another 82 Dean ML for sure. But even that 81, those are still like those old Deans. They're great guitars. They're very, very, very nice guitars, and they're kind of sought after by a small group of people that kind of know. I shouldn't even be telling you this. I'd be buying them all up. But if I ever find another 82, I'll definitely buy it. So there you go. All right, normally I kind of play in the middle of the video. I didn't really do that this time, but I guess I'll play some and just kind of mess around and jam a little bit, and then that'll be the video. But I really appreciate you guys for tuning in, and I'm always interested to hear your feedback and all that kind of stuff. But again, remember those shows, you heard them at the beginning, but the main one that you might have a chance to go to would be the one at Zany's in Nashville on February 12th. But follow me on Instagram, John_Hickok45. That's where you find out about shows and things like that are going on. But I appreciate you guys, and I'll talk to you later. But I'm just gonna play a little guitar at the end of this video here. All right, let's turn this son of a bitch back on. I have no idea what I'm gonna play.